other gods, so I'm not sure why we're
Okay,
referencing.
give me evidence for another god. Go ahead. You said they were substantiating other gods, and you say there's just as much evidence. You know how many times people brought that asinine claim to my channel and never provided a single piece of evidence?
In this fiery debate, Big John Steele, an outspoken atheist, challenges a Muslim scholar with the claim that all gods are equal and equally man-made. The discussion dives into the foundations of belief, questioning the validity of religion and the concept of divine authority. The Muslim scholar responds with calm reasoning, presenting arguments rooted in logic, scripture, and historical evidence to counter Big John's bold assertions. Sparks fly as both sides passionately defend their views, making this debate a must-watch for anyone interested in the clash between atheism and faith.
Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm 27.
What's up, bro?
Nothing, I work events, and I'm just have 30 minutes-ish to kill, so I was on TikTok and thought I could spend them here. I mean, I have 30 minutes to unalive. I'm trained.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as leaving Christianity, I'm the opposite. I'm someone who was Christian and lost that. What value do you see? As someone who did the opposite, was an atheist and became Christian, I guess a preemptive question, were you Christian before and then you became atheist and you reverted, or?
No, I wasn't Christian before.
Okay, so as an interesting experience, how did you come to find value in Christianity?
Well, my testimony, like I have 3 videos of my testimony on my YouTube if you want that, but I had a Christophany, experience with Christ, and ultimately it's true. And so if it's true, it's the best path to follow, because you want to believe as many true things as many and as least false things.
How do you define truth?
Truth would be something that is grounded in reality.
How is the Bible grounded in reality?
Because it's historical documentation of real events.
As historical as like any historical fiction? I mean, why would I have faith in the Bible?
There's not a single scholar out there that considers the Bible fiction. That includes atheist scholars.
I wouldn't consider it necessary. I mean, contentious for like miracles and stuff, that's also requires some more logical substantiation. But then what sets the Bible aside from other religious documents? Like, wouldn't say like the Quran be historical as well, considering the period where it was written?
Yeah, the Quran is historical.
So why is the Quran, so what makes the Bible more substantive than the Quran?
Because of the claims inside of it.
But that doesn't necessarily lead to the substance, just merely the claims. Like, you just like what they say.
No, that's not what I said. You're asserting what I said. So, for example, the Quran just says it's from God and that Muhammad received it in a cave by himself. It's not a very strong claim. The Bible says that a man resurrected from the dead, and there's multiple eyewitness attestations for that, and a huge change in culture because of that event.
Where are these eyewitness accounts substantiated?
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John,
So in the Bible, the source substantiates the source itself?
No, because there's multiple sources.
You just referenced the books of the Bible.
Yeah, what did you say?
Multiple books of the same
What did you say?
Bible.
Did you say books or books?
Books.
So plural,
I mean,
right? Multiple,
like
multiple,
books, yeah.
Multiple historical documents. So
Yeah.
when they wrote all those documents, were they all compiled into one book when it was written?
The same source? I mean, it's leads to the same substance that the Quran have.
Answer the question, please.
Were they not compiled as the same document under the same like theocracy of the church? Yeah, sure, but still.
So you think all the books in the Bible, when they were written, were all immediately put into one singular form?
Excuse me. Probably not, but still the same attestations of that same group of people. Like
James and Paul were
similar
enemies.
testimonies from like Mormonism. James and Paul were enemies.
James and Paul were enemies of Christianity. Those are two.
Oh,
that's two enemy attestations, which raises the probability of something being true.
Where is it defined that James and Paul are enemies of Christianity?
So Paul himself claims he was an enemy, and then Luke in the book of Acts claims Paul was an enemy. James, through church tradition, says he's an enemy, and it was written by Josephus. And then within the Gospels, it says James was an enemy.
But weren't they? Wait, it's been a while since I've done biblical stuff. Paul was the guy who he was. I mean, I want to say apostate. That's it, but he was a convert. Or are you saying at the end of his life
Christians.
he was? Yeah. Okay. Good. I am on track. But then afterwards, he became a Christian. No.
Yeah.
So why is he an enemy?
because he was killing Christians. He was an enemy, and then the evidence was so astronomical.
But then he was converted.
The evidence was so astronomical to him that he converted.
I mean, in that period, I mean, people were also substantiating other gods, so I'm not sure why we're
Okay,
referencing...
give me evidence for another god. Go ahead.
I don't believe in any other gods.
You said they were substantiating other gods, and you say there's just as much evidence. You know how many times people brought that asinine claim to my channel and never provided a single piece of evidence? Well, provide a piece of evidence, and I'll take my statement.
Other than
back.
much evidence of, say, like the Hindu god Zeus.
Yeah, provide the evidence, and I'll take my claim back.
The fact that there's as much documentation of them.
If there is, I will take my claim back. Go ahead, show me.
Okay, let me look up all these. Do you realize how, I mean, you're calling it asinine, but your attitude's fucking asinine too. You want me, I'm literally in like a parking lot, and you want me to pull up research from my phone, paste it to you, and that's what you want?
Maybe.
Like, it sounds like you're not interested in having a conversation. It seems like that's why you're a Christian, because you're a dipshit.
Maybe don't just pull stuff out of your butt that you've heard other people say and actually look at the data.
The data, the Christian data.
Any data, right? The data I'm giving you.
Where's your substance? I mean, you're the one providing the substance.
Yeah, sure. I can give you.
Where's your Christian data?
Yeah, no problem. So we can give you, for example, Bart Ehrman, who's a secular scholar. He is not a Christian. He would say that the data clearly shows that Jesus Christ was a real person, that he was crucified under Pontius Pilate, that he had 12 apostles, and then on Easter Day something crazy happened where they genuinely believed he rose from the dead, and his apostles were willing to die.
That's a big word that's carrying a lot of weight. People genuinely believe that, like, what was his name? The Mormon guy, John whatever, had like his revelations. Does that make it as substantive?
Yeah, they recanted.
They recanted, but why is it not enough for it to not be a religion anymore? No,
I think it is. They recanted.
I mean,
and their evidence isn't strong. So, for example, in the Book of Mormon,
as strong as Christian evidence.
In the Book of Mormon, they have archaeological claims that, when they investigated them, showed them to be false. In the Bible, we have archaeological claims when we investigated them, showed them to be true. This would raise the probability.
What archaeological claims coincide with the Bible?
The Baths of Bethesda. So we discovered the Baths of Bethesda because of the Bible's description of where they were.
What about like archaeological claims such as like dinosaurs?
That's completely a goalpost shift, my friend, and you know it.
No, it's not. How old do you think the world is then?
I think the world is probably, 40 billion, something like that? 40 million? 40
billion? So how does that not coincide if like the creation of humanity puts it as closer to a couple thousand years old?
Show me the verse that says that the earth is a couple thousand years old.
Well, as far as the substantiation of Genesis, like you get light, you get the creation of man that coincides with humanity.
Genesis is poetic.
Are you saying that Genesis substantiates that like humans evolved from apes?
Genesis 1 is poetic.
So what point between like men being like put together, or Adam being put together from dirt?
Do you know what poetic means?
I know what poetic means. I'm trying to get you to substantiate where that poetics meets the archaeological reality of human evolution.
You don't need poetics to line up with archaeological evolution.
Well, I mean, if you're saying that it's archaeological substantive, it seems like you're conceding then if you're going to lean on that point.
I'm not conceding, because my whole point is
it's not like you're conceding.
No, you, my friend, have to be one of the dumbest people I've spoken to. So what I said is that we've discovered is like places like Bethesda, right? And then you shifted to, well, the Genesis 1 says that evolution doesn't line up, so that doesn't substantiate an archaeology. That wasn't my claim.
So why
would you go to Genesis 1 when it's not even my claim at all?
If you appreciate archaeology, then it should go fully through. So it seems like if you believe that the Earth is 4 billion
Genesis 1
years
isn't
old,
an archaeological claim.
But it contradicts human evolution.
It's not. That's not the claim in Genesis 1. You keep asserting that it's an archaeological claim, and it doesn't line up.
Let's get to bare bones. Do you believe in human evolution, that we evolved from apes?
Yes, I believe in evolution.
So at what point in the Bible is it described that humans evolved from apes?
It doesn't.
So then how can you say it's substantive?
That I'm not making the claim of evolutions in the Bible. This is a really weird argument. You're creating an argument. Hold on, my friend. Oh, I didn't mean to kick you. You can come back. I meant to mute you. I'm sorry. You can come back though. I didn't mean to kick you. You're creating an argument I never made and then destroying that argument. That's called a straw man by definition. So you're saying I'm claiming that the Bible is doing all truth claims for all of history that ever happened. And so if you can give me a truth claim in history that didn't happen in the Bible, therefore it's false. That's not any of my claims.
Well, I mean, there's truth claims in the Quran that coincide with history as well. Does that not make it as substantive?
Yeah, so I said the Quran is a historical document.
It's even a later document, so it's
right. I don't think you have the capability of listening. For somebody who's listening in the car by himself, you're incapable of actually opening up your ears. I already said the Quran is an historical document.
I heard you. I'm sorry. You get very insecure. So how do
I seem insecure to you?
Archaeology. You sound very insecure.
Do you think I'm insecure? I'm literally watching a boxing fight while I'm destroying you.
You're focusing more on talking about being insecure than answering my question. So how do you substantiate the conflict of evolution with the Bible?
I already answered that question twice.
How? Can you reiterate it?
No, because you're not listening.
I'm just too dumb to listen to you.
Yeah, you are too dumb.
I'm literally pausing. See, it sounds like you're very insecure because you're afraid of answering my question.
I already answered your question. Here, I'll tell you what. Ask the chat because they were listening.
Well, now I have to read. Now I have to wait for someone to respond. So at what point did the Bible substantiate human evolution?
Ask the chat because they were listening. I already answered that question.
They're not answering the question. I'm not getting the answer from them.
That's because you haven't asked them.
You're so confident. Chat, can you answer the question because the host is too scared to give me an answer himself? He says he never claimed it. He said it's poetic. That's true. Is that your answer? It's poetic?
So Genesis 1 is poetic.
You're leaning on, so you're substantiating poetry over like the breadth of knowledge of like I'm not anthropology.
Right. So what you're doing is called a category error. Right. You're taking a poem and saying it doesn't line up with ontology, so therefore it's false. That's so stupid. That's so dumb.
I missed the word. Wait, I missed the word. Sorry, it cut out. You said a category error?
It's a category error.
A category. Sorry, there was a connection issue.
I think you won.
I did win. I did win because
not you. This guy.
It seems like you can't really substantiate it. Oh, did Mike Tyson win?
No, it's not that fight yet.
Oh, he's not up yet. Oh, yeah, I'm in Hollywood. There's a bunch of bars playing it. They've been telling me it's gonna be on any hour. Yeah, but I'll take the breadth of science. You can take your poetics.
I'm not against science. I believe in evolution. I believe in old Earth. How does that make you think I'm against science?
Because you're
literally you're inventing an argument I never made and then telling me I'm wrong.
You're getting insecure again. I'm saying you don't really.
Do you genuinely in your heart believe I'm insecure right now?
Yeah, I feel
deep
like
in your
insecure.
core, you think this is projecting insecurity?
I mean, not deep in my core because I don't know you well enough, but I feel like if I did, it's kind of on that track. So, like, you think poetics is substantive enough compared to like all of our studies of human evolution and cultural anthropology, biological anthropology?
Never said that.
So then why do you substantiate the Bible over all of that?
I'm not.
But you are, because you're obviously a Christian, so you're leaning your belief on it. Or are you like a kind of Christian that's like, I believe in the faith, but not necessarily it's like historical scientific truths?
No, you haven't provided a contradiction between the two. You're saying I have to believe in one and not the other, but you haven't provided a contradiction. The development of evolution compared to the Genesis describing the creation of man does not coincide with humans evolving. Again, Genesis 1 isn't talking about evolution and it's poetic, so I don't see a contradiction.
It's talking about the creation of human. So can you describe the poetry and how it coincides with the evolution? Because it seems like you understand that better.
It's not talking about evolution.
It's talking about the creation of man. So can you describe the creation of man biblically? How did that happen?
I don't know.
Well, I can say I do. We can at least say that we evolved, but the Bible doesn't have the answers.
You said biblically.
Yeah.
Biblically,
the
poetry of Genesis 1 is supposed to tell us of the fall of mankind. The goal isn't to give us the accounts of exactly how everything is created and made. That's not the purpose of Genesis 1.
Okay. So let me shift because you're not moving in on any of this.
You're trying to make an argument I'm not making to destroy. I don't even know why we're on Genesis 1 because I was talking about the archaeological evidence that was discovered in the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and all of a sudden you said evolution.
So I brought up evolution because if you're arguing archaeology as in like the study of history and then trying to find that as evidence, if we take that study further enough, we get to evolution. So if you want to substantiate, there's like historical documents, there's other historical documents provides like the Quran. I'm sure there's other faiths that coincide with historical events.
Okay,
so
show me.
I think it's a wash.
You're just saying they exist, and
his conquest, the conquest of Muhammad.
So again, how many times am I gonna say this? I already agree that the Quran has historical information in it. That's true.
I'm trying to get past that. But you're going to the point where you can just stonewall. So what's substantive about poetics? Something that is innately up to interpretation. Do you think that's a good way to build up your like what you believe to substantively believe in things?
So I believe it's a story about the fall. So it gives me information on my theology, not the ontology of the planet. That's not the purpose of it. That's like reading a social studies textbook and saying, well, it doesn't talk about the evolution of monkeys. I can't believe in social studies anymore.
Yeah, but the social studies textbooks isn't claiming to have the answers to where humans come from.
Neither is the Bible.
So then it's just permitted to fail in that regard?
It's not failing. It's not what it's doing.
Then what?
That's like saying that you're like saying because my bicycle. You're saying that because my bicycle makes a horrible submarine, it fails.
Yeah.
That's the argument that you're trying to make right now.
Can you describe how humans came to be in the Bible? How does the Bible describe humans coming to be?
So it doesn't. It gives a poetic nature.
It does. It says that God created them.
So if you're just talking about how humans came into existence, we were created by God. The methodology. Hold on. Shut the hell up for a second. The methodology in how that happened is up to interpretation, and I ultimately don't know.
So, if the Bible begins as poetics, is there more substance to the history, or do you get to pick and choose when it's like substantive and poetic?
So if I give you a letter, and in those letters the couplets start rhyming, so you start seeing that sentence A starts rhyming with sentence B. What's your immediate interpretation?
Sorry, I was. Can you repeat that? One of my clients is calling me.
So if I give you a letter, and in that letter you start seeing that there's couplets, and sentence A and sentence B are rhyming, what is your interpretation of that letter?
It rhymes.
And if it's rhyming and there's couplets, what do you assume is the genre?
Poetry?
Right. That's modern day poetry.
Or it could be like
so if we
Shakespeare, like the Renaissance period.
If we understand the hermeneutics of ancient Hebrew and how they wrote poetry, and we start seeing their version of couplets and their version of rhyming patterns, then what do we assume?
It's art.
So it's not I pick and choose.
It's not like science, bro.
It's not. It's not. It's not I pick and choose.
I have to go.
It's not.
No, I know. I have to go. I just need to let you know you're a dipshit.
I love you so much.
You're just a fucking retard. Okay, take care, bye.
All right, I love you, bro. We'll talk next time.
This debate leaves much to ponder about the nature of belief, the existence of God, and the differences between religions. Whether you agree with Big John Steele or the Muslim scholar, this conversation challenges preconceived notions and invites deeper reflection. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and share your thoughts below. Stay tuned for more engaging debates and discussions.